Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cannapreneur Partners Canna News Break. Happy New Year again to everybody. We're continuing on the theme. Now that's the beginning of the year, we're starting to get year-end numbers, and we're starting to get tax estimates from cities and towns. And when we did a piece earlier about Illinois, and I want to talk now about Massachusetts. Massachusetts is releasing some numbers now, and again, the numbers are pretty staggering. What's happening? So what a lot of people don't, aside from sales taxes on cannabis, there's what's called host community agreements in Massachusetts, and the towns where that host cannabis operations receive up to 3% of the revenues of those companies for hosting them in their town, host community agreement. And this significant money is generated for some of these towns through these agreements. Recreational marijuana brought in $14.9 million for cities and towns in the fiscal year ended June 20th. That's up from $2.9 million the year before. Now this is in addition to any sales tax revenue they receive. This is in addition to any state disbursements they receive for cannabis sales. This is directly linked to those host community agreements that each town has. Massachusetts is over $1 billion in sales since inception right now. And here's the thing. Some of these cities, like a town of Pittsfield, Massachusetts, it is a very small, very tiny town in the Berkshires. They brought in almost $1 million in extra revenue on host community agreements from their cannabis businesses. And again, that's from New Yorkers, people from Connecticut, people from Vermont coming down and purchasing. Thank you, neighboring states, for refusing to legalize adult use cannabis. East Hampton, another tiny town, $500,000 they took in. Chicopee, another tiny town, $337,000. Worcester, $1.1 million. Boston is budgeting $1.25 million extra in their budget that didn't budget last year because they finally have adult use dispensaries in the city of Boston. This is all money going to these cities and towns at a time when they desperately need it. So we talked the other day about states wanting to legalize because the extra revenue is going to the states. It's going to start with these towns. It's going to start with other towns looking around and saying, hey, we want our piece of this pie too, but we can't because the state isn't legalized. When a tiny town like Pittsfield gets over $1 million in sales tax and host community agreement revenues, that's a stunning number for a town like that. I don't know what Pittsfield's budget is, but I guarantee you it got a huge boost last year because of cannabis revenues. It's a tiny, tiny town. So this is more data, more facts that we're giving to people in states that aren't legalized to say, oh, it's not going to help our state. Bull. There are statistics, we have numbers, we have proof that when you legalize cannabis, the tax revenues for your cities, for your towns will come rolling in. And the best part about this is it's not an increase on sales taxes. It's not an increase on income tax or property tax or autos excise taxes. This is new revenue. This is a user tax. People who use cannabis will pay the tax. It's a completely fair tax to have on people. If you don't want to pay the tax, don't buy cannabis. It's really simple. This isn't a tax on things people need like gasoline, income, food, or whatever. So these are completely good taxes to have. They're providing massive boosts to the budgets of these cities and these towns at a time when, let's be honest, they all desperately need it. So another quiver in the another quiver in the arrow of those people who think we should be legalizing cannabis because of the fiscal good it can do for our cities and towns. Let's put aside the health benefits to people about it. Let's put aside the societal benefits that when you legalize cannabis, opioid overdoses fall, heroin overdoses fall, cocaine overdoses fall. Let's put aside all that good stuff. Let's just talk about money. For cities and towns, legalizing cannabis is a fantastic thing for you to do. That's it for today, and I hope to see you again next time.